Ring Out celebrates Frome and the surrounding area through the local bells. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the town was home to the Cockey family of bell founders. At least 23 church towers in Somerset and 40 in Dorset and Wiltshire still include Cockey bells in their rings. Bell founding and bell ringing are an industry and activity currently under threat in Britain. Ring Out aims to contribute to a resurgence of interest in bells and their history, inviting everyone to ring, listen, learn and enjoy.
You know, there was so much planning that was coming, but you could see at the end of it what this is. You can hear the bells ringing out across Frome, and this was the aim. This is such an exciting end product to it. And to see so many people engaging with it as well, and we have sellouts across the board, incredibly successful. We're delighted to have this strand of work as part of the festival.
Yes. Taking place throughout the 10 days of the 2023 Frome Festival, the project includes workshops, talks, walks, tours, demonstrations and music, as well as much bell ringing. A carillon is defined as a set of bells on which tunes can be played, either by physical or mechanical means. Art music composer Helen Ottaway and sound designer Alistair Goulden created a virtual carillon for Frome, chiming the hours in the marketplace. Individual bells were rung and recorded in village churches near and far. Out of these bell recordings, Helen and Alistair created a scale of 8 bells in the key of G major.
Pleased to say that it sounds really good, and we're very pleased with the result. We haven't had to do much tinkering, but what's interesting is you can tell the bells which ring the tune are from different places because they have a different timbre. So you know, it kind of that's evident when you hear it, but it still works as a kind of as a little piece of music, really. You know, and it's the first time anyone will ever have been able to hear it in these ways.
Using handbells to replicate the sound of the big bells, workshop participants were invited to compose their own bell tunes. All of these tunes were played on the virtual carillon in the marketplace during the 10 days of the festival. The project was brilliantly supported by the bell ringing community. This was superbly demonstrated by the arrival in the local park of a life-size portable belfry.
Hi, my name is Mary Hooper. I am the tower captain of Postlebury Bell Ringers, which are local to Frome, Marston, Bigot, Nunney and Wanstrow. And I'm also the ringing coordinator for this project, which is the Ring Out for part of Frome Festival. So run by my friend Helen Ottaway, who's a composer, and she asked me to do this because she knew I was a ringer. And I got a lot more involved than I expected to, but that's why I'm here.
That would be about there.
So this is part of the Frome Festival. So we're going to have a bell tower, and there's about 6 bells that the public can come and play, and I think there's simulation as well at some point. So it sounds really exciting and something very different to what we normally have in the park.
The chamber ring has 6 bells that are rung in the same way as those in churches and cathedrals. The chamber ring is probably the easiest portable belfry to ring due to its relatively large bells and wheels. It is ideal for presenting change ringing to the public and for introducing newcomers to this physically and intellectually rewarding team activity. After a demonstration by experienced ringers, members of the public were invited to learn the technique.
Amazing, quite exhilarating actually. Needs a lot of concentration. But I think a big thank you needs to go to Martin Bax and Helen Ottaway and the group of people that have organised this today. Great event, and thoroughly enjoyed it myself, and lots of other people I'm sure will do so over the rest of the day and tomorrow.
What we find is that obviously with big tower bells it can take people several hours, if not 8, 10, 12 hours to be able to control a bell and ring in time with other people, whereas with these bells people can be up and going within a few minutes. Certainly the younger ringers, they get the hang of it within 10 or 15 minutes. There was a survey carried out a few weeks ago that said that something like 75% of bell ringers are actually aged over 50. So in one sense it is a dying art, but on the other hand we're doing quite a lot to engage with young people. We've been taking the chamber ring now to a couple of university freshers' fairs and got a lot of young students involved, and particularly pleasing was when we took it to Cambridge for their freshers' fair 2 years ago, and then we took it again last year, and some of the people who hadn't rung a bell before were actually teaching new freshers to ring on these bells a year later, and their university bell ringing society has gone on leaps and bounds ever since.
So it started quite simple. We thought we'd collect a bell from each village and make a scale out of it, and then make tunes and play them from above the town as a virtual carillon. So we've done that, but then all the bell ringers, local bell ringers, got very excited and started suggesting things like this wonderful Chambra ring, which is an outdoor portable belfry, and I've also written a piece which is for bells and instruments, which is going to be played at the finale on the 16th of July.
Some of these local bell ringers return the following day to lead workshops. Mary Hooper explained bell ringing through clapping, counting and handbell ringing, while Jenny Cornwell and Derek Livesey gave people the opportunity to ring using a dumbbell and computer simulation.
She's getting better already.
And you notice how far over it's going to get back handstroke. It's staying right on the bounce of backstroke because she knows what that is, but handstroke.
Especially at backstroke. But pull the sally a little bit, don't really pull the backstroke at all.
It's not like any intrusion. Trebles going. Gone.
One of the aims of Ring Out was to celebrate the Cockey family, who played an important part in the industrial life of Frome. We also thought it was important to show the several locations occupied by the Cockey family in relation to the other important industries of Frome. We led a 4-mile walk around town, with stops to read poems and extracts from the book Working Memories, which is an anthology of recollections by workers in these industries. Walk guides and readers were John Payne, Jill Harry, Annabel McFadden and Martin Bax. One of the poems recited on the walk was an old classical bell ringer's poem. When I am filled with liquor strong, each man drink once and then ding dong. Drink not too much to cloud your knobs, lest you forget to make the bobs. Knobs is almost certainly a reference to the head. Bobs is a ringing term whereby when change ringing a named method, course or pathway, bob is called at certain strategic places, causing a temporary change in the pattern of the bells. One of the things that stood out and attracted a lot of interest was the chance to visit a working bell founding and bell engineering firm. We were able to see and hear how bells are cast, tuned, repaired and hung at Matthew Higby's workshop in Charlton. Matthew is responsible for repairing, tuning and rehanging bells all over the world, as well as making bells in Somerset. He also built the Chambra ring. We were fascinated to hear about Matthew's work near and far, including at Christchurch, New Zealand, and locally as he was refurbishing the bells of All Saints in Nunney just outside Frome. This was of particular interest to us for our project, as two of the bells were cast in 1741 by William Cockey in Frome. The Nunney bells were at Matthew's workshop when we visited in July. Apparently, 100 years ago, at the last refurbishment, room was made available to increase the ring from 6 to 8 bells. This year, we were able to see this realised, with the 6 bells being returned and 2 bells added. We were able to follow the progress right up to the final hanging in the church on the 27th of September 2023, and the first official ring, which was part of the service of dedication on the 1st of October. Throughout the 10 days of the festival, the public were made welcome at bell ringing practices at church towers in many villages in Somerset, Wiltshire and Bath and North East Somerset. This culminated in an open tower day when the ringing teams invited people in to see behind the scenes and explore mysteries of the bell tower. One tower even laid on cream teas. The project finale brought together the ideas of bell ringing and musical composition in an evening featuring a talk about bell ringing.
I'm David Parfrey. I've been bell ringing for 57 years in Somerset. Now, I know I only look 42, but that's bell ringing for you. So, if you want the elixir of eternal youth, take up bell ringing.
And the world premiere of a new piece by composer Helen Ottaway called Full Circle.